Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael. Welcome to the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel. Today, we are going to take a look at this 2025 Acura Integra Type S. If you guys have been enjoying my car reviews on my Gas and Gavel YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like and leave a comment. This is the best way to help my channel continue to grow and allow me to bring you, again, completely free automotive content. Right now, my channel is completely self-funded, but I'm hoping to change that in the future. And the only way that's going to happen is if I can build my channels with more subscribers. So I would really appreciate that if you enjoy my videos, to subscribe to my channel. And again, I appreciate all your viewership and your views, and I'm hoping that you guys enjoy the work that I'm putting out. This Type S is finished in a platinum white pearl with a black and red Alcantara and leather interior. The base MSRP of the 2025 Acura Integra Type S starts at $58,000 before options. The Acura Integra Type S is essentially a four-door sedan with a hatchback trunk or liftback trunk. In 2022, Acura decided to revive the Integra nameplate and reintroduce the newest generation of the Acura Integra. The Acura Integra replaced the previous generation's Acura ILX. And then in 2023, for the 2024 model year, Acura Integra decided to award Honda and Acura enthusiasts by introducing the ultimate Acura Integra, the Acura Integra Type S. With its wide body fenders, 19-inch wider stance wheels, more aggressive aerodynamics such as the hood, the front bumper, and 320 horsepower, 310 foot-pounds of torque from a turbocharged inline-4, and decided to only offer it with a 6-speed manual transmission with a limited slip differential. For me, essentially the Acura Integra Type S is essentially the Acura Integra or the hondaintegratypes. It's essentially the ultimate form of the Acura Integra, similar to back in the days when you had the hondacivictypeR or the hondaintegratypes, or here in America what used to be known as the acuraintegratypes. The Type S nameplate to me is essentially Acura's version of the Type S, similar to how Acura used to have the CL Type S or the NSX Type S. And although this car is not finished in classic Type R championship white, this car is finished in a pearlescent white with a red interior, which comes very, very close to, again, classic Honda Type R colors. It still looks great, but I do miss that off-white championship white in the older Type Rs. But this pearl paint definitely looks really great here in the bright California sunlight. You can definitely see all that pearl in the paint. Let's take a look at the motor of the 2025 Acura Integra Type S. And here it is. The Acura Integra Type S is powered by a 2.0 liter inline-4 turbocharged motor. That inline-4 turbocharged motor puts out 320 horsepower and 310 foot-pounds of torque. All that horsepower is sent to a 6-speed manual transmission with a limited slip differential. All that power is sent in classic Honda fashion to the front wheels. The Acura Integra Type S is only available with a 6-speed manual transmission. So let's take an overview of this motor setup from an enthusiast perspective. Again, I really love the Type S Type R classic red valve cover with a red metallic paint, contrasting with, again, this carbon fiber engine cover with the Type S embezzled into the carbon fiber. Looks really, really great and harkens back to the days of the Integra Type R with their red valve covers. I also love how in just enthusiast fashion they have mounted the turbocharger front and center. Do not touch, it's really hot, but you can definitely see the turbocharger here right in front of the motor. Good place to put it. And another enthusiast type setup in this engine compartment that I really do love is kind of this ram air setup that routes air from the front of the fender into this funnel, into that intake, again to help get into that turbocharger, into the motor, to create all that 300 plus horsepower and 300 foot-pounds of torque. Everything looks great, it's functional, and it just looks like a very clean engine setup. Even the battery is wrapped in this nice little, like, it looks kind of like a heat wrap, but again, it's just very, very clean, very, very organized. Great valve cover, everything is very accessible. The top of the hood is functional. You do have this, again, this outlet for hot air in the hood. Definitely gives the car a very aggressive look, but is also very functional. As you can see, there is a scoop that, again, either channels air out. I believe the air goes through here, up here, and pushes all the hot air out there to help cool down this turbocharged motor. Again, functional and fashionable. So again, just a really great setup. I really loved how Honda has designed the Type S engine. I think the only thing that's missing is some sort of carbon fiber strut tower bar across the motor. But other than that, great engine design in a 2025 Acura Integra Type S. The Acura Integra Type S does the 0 to 60 time in 5.1 seconds and has a fuel economy rating of 21 city and 28 highway. One thing that's interesting about the Acura Integra Type S hood is that when I first opened it, I pushed it up and it dropped right back down on me. And I figured out why. I mean, this car has, again, this old school kind of engine prop that you have to prop up for the motors for the hood to stay up. I wish that they would have put some sort of like hydraulic shocks to just hold open the hood. Maybe they did that for weight savings. Maybe they did that to cut costs. But again, definitely very old school. The only other car I know that has this is I do have a old 1999 Toyota 4Runner that I drive around daily, and that car definitely has this. But again, maybe this is also maybe a throwback to 1990s Hondas. But again, be careful when you guys open up your Type S hood. You do have to prop it. So for me, as a old school 1990s golden era Honda tuning enthusiast, it's very, very amazing to see that a Honda, especially an inline-4 Honda motor, comes with a factory turbocharger. Back in the 90s, when you tried to turbocharge your Honda, you kind of had to put it together yourself. Actually, there are no companies making a turbo kit. People just kind of piece it together. So again, it's amazing. Just fast forward like 20 years, and again, from the factory, you can get a factory turbocharged inline-4 motor. Definitely very cool. But again, it harkens back to the days of like Greddy turbos and bolt-on Comtech superchargers for NSXs. Again, it's just really amazing to see as a old school enthusiast the advances of the technology, and it's amazing to see a factory turbocharger inline-4 and a Honda motor. Let's begin the exterior tour of the 2025 Acura Integra Type S. And we'll start with the aggressive Type S front bumper. So the Type S comes with these Acura, what Acura likes to brand the jewel eye LED headlights with an LED light strip up on top. There is a Acura insignia inside the headlights. And if you know old school Type Rs, usually the Type Rs have a black housing headlight, and this is no different. This entire jewel LED headlight does have the black housing on the inside with the amber turn signal, classic Honda style. Definitely a nice throwback to Hondas of back in the days, and you could definitely see the jeweled headlights on the inside. It looks really great and fits the aggressiveness with those angled headlights of this front bumper. And next to the jeweled headlights, right front and center, you have this honeycomb patterned front grille. Definitely very cool, definitely a cool design. And the honeycomb pattern essentially culminates in the center Acura emblem in the center. And to the right, you do have a Type S badge. Yet my favorite feature of the front bumper, if we're going to talk emblems or insignia, is most definitely under the driver's side headlight. Underneath the driver's side headlight, Acura decided to stamp the old school Integra logo right in the front bumper. So all those people, including myself, who did have a 1990s Acura Integra, this brings back a lot of nostalgia. Again, definitely my favorite feature of the front bumper. Nice homage to the 90s Acuras and Hondas of the day. And compared to the base Acura Integra, you definitely have a very much more aggressive looking front bumper with a lot of functional air dams. So underneath the headlights, you do have this black painted, again, honeycomb pattern, but these huge side vents are definitely functional, sending air directly into those huge 19-inch wheels. Scrolling right up front, dead center, is a huge black grille, and behind it is hiding, again, you can definitely see that intercooler mounted right in front to help cool that turbocharged motor and send cool air to that turbocharger. So again, definitely very functional. I love the contrasting flat black paint. Again, huge functional air duct in front, styled very, very aggressively. Sending air to the inside, definitely functional. The front honeycomb grille is definitely functional also. And I believe inside of the side ducts, there are inner air canards that help bring some aerodynamics to the front end. I love the subtle white front strip, giving it kind of a front lip spoiler. Again, just a really great designed aggressive front bumper, and this front bumper only comes in the Type S. Definitely looks better than the base Acura Integra front bumper. Another really lovely feature that only comes in the Acura Integra Type S is this functional, essentially hood heat outlet embedded into the hood. It's painted a nice shiny black, but again, it is visually appealing, but it's also absolutely functional. You saw in the engine tour that there is a duct that forces air from the front out through these outlets to help send hot air out of that engine compartment. But again, it just gives us the hood a really aggressive, race-ready look, and matches the idea of what an Ultra Integra should be. On the side fender, you do have another Type S emblem with the red S, which I believe should, in my eyes, be an R. But again, definitely very cool. And one of my ultimate favorite things about the Acura Integra Type S, and this only comes in the Acura Integra Type S, and I believe this type of design feature should come in all ultimate versions of any car, from the BMW M3s to the Mercedes AMGs. In Acura's version of their Ultra Integra, they have widened the front and rear fenders with these really, really wide, aggressive looking fender flares, not only in the front, but also in the back. Definitely my favorite feature of the Acura Integra Type S. Let's start and take a closer look at the front fender flares. So the Acura Integra Type S fenders are flared over 2.8 inches wider than the standard Acura Integra. Not only do those fender flares allow for just a much more aggressive looking design, it allows Acura to fit those wider 19-inch wide stance wheels for definitely more traction and stability. But again, overall, I just love the aggressiveness and just the muscular design feature. It just completely transforms the Acura Integra's body style. In fact, with the addition of those wide fender flares, the Acura Integra Type S's front track is widened by 3.5 inches, while the rear is widened by almost a complete 2 inches over the base Acura Integra. For myself, as a Acura Integra enthusiast, when the base Acura Integra, especially the redesigned version, came out, I, like many other Honda enthusiasts, were essentially blah. And I kind of forgot about the Acura Integra for 2 or 3 years. But man, when they reintroduced the Type S with the widened fenders, it just really changed the look of, again, just like the narrow body Integra. Just the addition of those front fender flares in conjunction with just a little more aggressive front bumper and just a wider stance, it just changed the whole look of a boring car into, again, I think one of the nicest looking front wheel drive 4-door hatchback cars on the market today. And again, I just feel that the exterior of the Acura Integra Type S with the front and rear fender flares is definitely something that I'm glad Acura did, and they definitely redeemed themselves with a lot of old school Honda and Acura enthusiasts. So again, my favorite feature of the Acura Integra Type S is most definitely the front and rear fender flares. And now let's take a closer look at each of those flares now. So in this day and age, a lot of manufacturers just tack on some plastic fender flares and call it a day. In the front fender flares, if you look very closely, Acura actually molded in the front fender flare right into the metal. So again, there is no plastic piece. It's one entire wide body fender molded in into one complete wide front fender. Definitely gives the fenders definitely a clean look. And although I do love the aftermarket obsession right now with aftermarket wide body kits such as those from Liberty Walk and RWB, again with the bolted on fenders with the bolts showing out, I really love how Acura just again went back to the old school, and again just a very clean fender flare, no gaps, no lines, all one piece molded in. Let's travel on to the rear fender flares. The rear fender flares are a little different. Acura had to essentially, the rear, if you look closely, it's actually three pieces of fenders that were tacked on. The rear fender flare is not molded on. And from my understanding, the reason is that the Acura Integra's rear quarter panel was actually pretty huge, and it extended all the way up to the roof, making it prohibitively expensive for them to again mold or stamp the rear fender. So Acura chose to again use multi-piece fender pieces to create the rear wide body. And unfortunately they couldn't mold it in, but I think that it was a great decision to help cost cut and keep the price of the Acura Integra Type S affordable for enthusiasts. It still looks great. You have the front fender piece here, another fender piece in the center, and the rear fender piece is actually molded to the rear bumper. So again, molded fender flare. I'm pretty sure you can remove this piece here, and then this piece mounted to the door panel can definitely be removed. But again, from afar, it looks great. Acura did their best, and they found a nice medium between design and cost, again, for consumers. I think it looks great. And again, just a great job just changing the entire body style of a boring economy car. And those are the widened front fenders and rear fenders of the Acura Integra Type S. My most favorite feature of this car. Now let's take a look at the wheel and tire package under those wide body fenders. So again, the wheel and tire package of the Acura Integra Type S are definitely wider stance wheels. With the Type S, you get these 19 by 9.5, what Acura likes to call shark gray wheels. They are wide, they are big, and they are gray. I love the design of it. It's kind of like an 8-spoke wheel with a nice kind of gunmetal finish, great contrast to the white paint. In the center, you do have the Acura logo. And the front wheels measure a 265/30/19. And behind those shark gray wheels in classic Type R colors is this red Brembo branded with Acura 4-piston caliper clamping down on this 13.5-inch 2-piece front rotor. Definitely quintessential Type R colors with the red caliper and the white paint. I believe this is the best and only color choice that the Type S, Type Rs should come in. So great job, Brembo and Acura. And behind the wheels and the brakes is a adaptive suspension that you can adjust with different driving modes that will stiffen and soften depending on your needs and wants and driving modes. Now let's swing back to the rear wheels of the Type S. Again, here are the shark gray wheels. Acura logo down the center, wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sports. And the rears measure a 265/30 ZR19. There's a single red painted caliper in the rear with a 13-inch rotor. Although they may not be branded Brembo or Acura, they are painted a classic Type R red. And those are the wheels that fill those huge wide body fenders of your Acura Integra Type S. When you opt for the Acura Integra Type S package, Acura actually takes away a feature. So when you option for the Type S, basically you get a sunroof/moonroof delete. Definitely done for weight savings. So you do not get a moonroof or a sunroof in the Type S, but you do get this nice, beautifully painted white pearl roof with a white pearl antenna, and probably some weight savings over the Acura Integra base with the moonroof sunroof option. So again, Type S, you get a delete of the sunroof moonroof. Why? Well, because race car. The side mirrors are painted that pearl white with a integrated side marker. Very, very cool. The bottom is painted a contrasting flat black. And very odd feature is this this red spider, definitely Type R spider hanging out on there. That was random. With a kind of like a red back. Definitely weird coincidence for this Type R spider. But anyways, this is your side mirror of your Acura Integra Type S. The Type S again comes in a 4-door hatchback design. You get color matched door handles. You get a front window, rear window, and my favorite part is this mini window. It's not a cheap black plastic piece. It is an actual small window allowing light and also rearward visibility. I really love cars with these little wedged again windows. It just allows for so much more light and so much more safety, and again just more rearward visibility. So great job, Acura. And here is your slope back rear design. Again, the rear of this car is a lift back hatch that we'll see in a little bit, but let's take a look at features of the exterior of the hatch. At the top of the hatch, you do have an integrated forward brake light. And mounted very cleanly is this contrasting shiny black painted duckbill spoiler. Definitely very clean, and only comes in the Acura Integra Type S. If you've seen my previous videos, I really love these kind of just very clean spoilers. No need for a big tabletop wing. Just very, very subtle. And I like the contrast of black, breaking up all that white. On the trunk, you do have your Type S emblem with your blacked out Acura emblem in the center. And just like the front, throwback to the 1990s, the old Integra insignia stamped into the rear bumper underneath the tail light. These are your red and black LED tail lights. I love how the turn signals are smoked black. Classic Type R style, and integrated inside of the headlight is a Acura logo. The rear tail lights are aggressively angular designed. They are red LEDs with a it looks like kind of like a smoked or blacked out turn signal. Inside the headlights, you do have the Acura insignia embedded inside. And just like the front, right underneath the rear tail light, you do have the classic 1990s Integra logo subtly stamped into the rear bumper. Definitely very cool. Acura Integra Type S. Great looking rear hatch area and tail lights of your Type S. Now let's take another look at another distinguishing feature of the Acura Integra Type S, and that is this really aggressive rear lower diffuser in the rear bumper. I love how it's painted an aggressive shiny black. And I love how the rear diffuser just takes up the majority of the real estate in that rear bumper. And housed underneath that rear diffuser is one of the most unique exhaust designs of Hondas or any car of 2025. And the Acura Integra Type S comes exclusively with these triple 3 circular exhaust tips out the rear bumper. And for some reason it just really works, and especially works because of, again, it's housed in this really aggressive looking rear diffuser that's definitely functional, but again just provides just a very unique look to the rear end. And just for some reason these tri-tips just function really well, and they sound really great. We'll play a clip now. Alright, let's take a look at the trunk of your 2025 Acura Integra Type S. And here is your hatchback trunk. The trunk size measures 25 square feet. But the trunk is hiding an additional storage surprise. The rear seats do fold down 60/40 flat, allowing you a lot more additional storage as such. So again, 25 cubic feet, but much more cubic feet with the rear seats fold down and this big rear hatch. Again, very versatile, large storage trunk. The Type S comes with this really cool Type S branded, very thick trunk mat. On the side, you do have this cargo netting, and in true Honda enthusiast style, this person has chosen to stick their front license plate in the rear, because we all know cars look better without front license plates. In the back, you do have the ELS Studio 3D subwoofer mounted in the rear. You do have internal trunk lights. Underneath this mat, let's see what's down here. Oh, you do have a emergency air kit, some sort of funnel for emergencies. Nice. And up top, you do have this removable privacy shade, so that when you close the trunk, you can protect your valuables from would-be thieves and criminals. So again, a very large, very practical, and again, probably one of the largest Type R, Type S Honda variant trunks of all. So again, a great size for a enthusiast vehicle. And here is the trunk of your Acura Integra Type S. Let's take a look at the key that you get when you do purchase your 2025 Acura Integra Type S. And here it is. It's a pretty beautiful key, very hefty, and it's very Type R colors for sure. So the car keys itself, it has a silver trim on the side with a black finish, but definitely has that Type R red right down the center. And then in the back, you have an Acura emblem with the Type S emblem right underneath that, embedded into the rear back of the key. Definitely very nice and very worthy of this very special Acura Integra. Some functions on here, very simple and straightforward. You have your lock, you have your unlock, you have an emergency panic button, and of course you have a powered trunk for the rear hatch that you can go ahead and open up. But again, very beautiful car, and you do get a very beautiful set of keys in the classic Type R, Type S color scheme. Very nice, and great job Acura in the design of this key. Let's begin the interior tour of this 2025 Acura Integra Type S, and we'll start with the driver's side door panel. And here it is. And as a friendly reminder, this Type S is finished in a platinum white pearl with a red leather and black ultra suede interior. So you can definitely see the red leather in the door panel with the red cross stitch and the black leather up top. Definitely very harkens to the days of the Integra Type R color motif. The Acura Integra Type S does come standard with the ELS Studio 3D sound system. And you can see the setup of it here with the silver painted speaker. You have a pretty heavy duty silver painted door handle. And right next to that Type R red leather, you do have all your window switches. They are all soft touch. You have lock and unlock, and you also have your side mirror controls. Right underneath that, you do have a small storage compartment. Overall, very sporty, and it's a great contrast with that red leather with that white exterior. Quintessential Type R colors. Now down the door sill, you do have these silver trimmed Type S door sills. Underneath, you do have all aluminum pedals, and these mats that you see here with the Type S insignia, these are official Acura official items, so you can actually order this from your Acura dealer essentially in the parts department. So these are pretty heavy duty, like mud mats. Pretty good if you I guess if you're gonna off-road your Type S. And here is the interior of your Acura Integra Type S. So one of the oddest things I found about the Type S is that so the front seat is powered 12 ways with lumbar support. But when you sit in the passenger side seat, that passenger side seat is actually all manual. There's no electronic control, but it is heated. So again, I think that the Acura probably did that for weight savings or cost savings. So again, only the driver's side seat is powered, whereas the passenger side seat is a manually operated seat. All right, let's take a closer look at the seat material. So up top, you do have a Type S insignia stamped into the headrest, and this is the black ultra suede. It's essentially a synthetic Alcantara suede manufactured by Acura. And then you have that red leather with the red cross stitch. They look great, but in my opinion, unfortunately, I feel like many Type Rs and Type Ss, they should have came with some sort of Recaros. Again, if you harken back to the 90s with the Acura Integra Type Rs, usually the front seats were either red, yellow, Recaro SRD seats. But again, these look like Again, just normal seats, but they do have a little bit of lumbar support, and you do have a little bolster support on the side. Let's jump into the cockpit and see what it's like in your 2025 Acura Integra Type S. And here we are. And let's start with the steering wheel. So you have a tri-spoke steering wheel with the Acura logo in the center. The leather wrapped steering wheel is cross-stitched with a red Type R with a red stitching. Nice little detail there. There is a silver trim with a Type S emblem at the bottom. And to the left, you do have audio controls for your multimedia system, and you do have adaptive cruise controls on the right side. This steering wheel can telescope forward and up and down, but it is a manual telescope button. Again, probably for weight savings and cost savings. And the entire rest of the steering wheel is accented with this shiny black trim. And I do want to note that there is a factory option to actually purchase from a factory a Alcantara suede wrapped steering wheel, which must feel really, really nice. But again, this one is spec'd with the OEM leather steering wheel cover. But again, there is an option straight from Acura for the Alcantara suede steering wheel. And behind the steering wheel stock, you do have your headlight controls to the left, and you have your windshield wipers controls to the right. And behind your steering wheel controls, you do have a 10.2-inch instrument cluster. Let's go ahead and start up this car and see what that looks like. So to start up your Type S, essentially, there is a push to start button located right behind the steering wheel, the windshield wiper stock, and you see it right here, nice and shiny. And let's go ahead and give that a push. I love the sweeping of the red gauges, and here is your Integra Type S instrument cluster. One of my favorite features about the instrument cluster is that the Acura Integra Type S does come with factory driving modes, and in order to change the driving modes, which is again my favorite button, there is a button right next to the 6-speed manual transmission called dynamic mode, and you flip this little switch here, and basically when you go down, right now I'm in comfort mode, the screen turns blue, you can go to a more aggressive sport mode, and the variable exhaust opens up, the suspension stiffens up, the shifting becomes a little more aggressive. But if you want to go in the ultimate race mode and experience the Type S in the manner that it's meant to be experienced, you click it all the way up and it turns all red, and essentially this is the most aggressive setting for the Integra Type S. But again, back to the gauge cluster, I really like how depending on the driving mode, again the screen kind of changes color. Cool for comfort mode, and it just lets race red for the most aggressive setting. Let's try that again. Sport and comfort. Very, very cool. In the Acura Integra Type S, you do get this 9-inch touchscreen multimedia system. It is a full 2 inches bigger than the base Acura Integra. And I want to note in the Type S, another great feature is if you took a look at the driving video, the Acura Integra Type S also comes with a 5.3-inch heads-up display. I really, really love how that was included. It displays miles per hour as well as the current miles per hour of the road. And every time you go over it, essentially there's a loud beep telling you to slow down. But again, that is standard in the Acura Integra Type S, and I think it's a great feature that works in conjunction with your instrument cluster. Let's take a closer look at your multimedia system. Again, this is a full touchscreen, and as a reminder, the Acura Integra Type S does come with a top-tier 16-speaker 530-watt ELS Studio 3D premium audio sound system. And here it is. It's very straightforward and intuitive. As you can see, you have touchscreen. You have phone, AM, FM radio, Bluetooth audio. Again, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capable. It's nothing super fancy, but it provides everything that you need. But I feel in the Type S, I feel like this is like a race car, so I think most people would prefer to have just the display off, so there's no distractions. On the left of the screen with the display off, you can see the analog buttons with the home, back, and you have an analog button for your audio volume knob. So that's great. I really like how nowadays manufacturers are bringing back more analog buttons instead of doing just screens everywhere. So that's a really great addition. So again, this is your multimedia system, and it's again 2 inches bigger than the standard Acura Integra. And continuing on, underneath your multimedia system, you do have your AC controls, and it has the same, again, that's similar to the that front grille, that honeycomb pattern for your heat and cooling. Again, they're very sturdy, and they're trimmed in a nice silver and gunmetal. Very nice. And around that is it looks kind of like a faux carbon fiber, but again, nice little different textures used in the dash, giving it a really rich look. And underneath these AC vents are your analog cabin temperature control knobs. Very straightforward. And underneath this, and in front of your 6-speed manual transmission, is essentially your power station with a USB-C, USB-A, and a 9-volt charger, and a wireless charging station, so you can drop your phone in there and it'll charge right up without wires. Very cool. And right underneath the charging station is one of my favorite features of the interior, is this 6-speed manual transmission with limited slip differential. I love how it's trimmed with this black Alcantara boot with red stitching. Again, throwback to the previous integratyper Type S's of the 90s. Very cool. One of the best feeling, best looking shifters. You do have your H pattern here and a gunmetal weighted shift knob. Very nice. And the entire thing is trimmed in this very cool silver trim with your Type S stamped right into it. To the left, you have your electronic parking brake, and right here where it says brake hold. So to highlight, the great thing about this 6-speed manual transmission is that 2 of my favorite features of it is, the first is this brake hold. So if for those that drive manual transmissions, whether you are a novice or a professional race car driver, driving a manual uphill or downhill can be a little scary sometimes. Car can roll forward, can roll back. But with the Acura Integra Type S, you do have a brake hold button. So if you are uphill or downhill and your car is rolling, you can go and press that, and the car will actually electronically prevent you from rolling backwards and forwards. A great safety feature. The second favorite thing about this 6-speed manual transmission, the Type S, that I truly do love, is the fact that, so if you drive manual transmission, usually when you shift up and down a gear, you have to kind of blip the throttle a little bit to rev match it. But with the 6-speed manual transmission that you see here, the Acura Integra Type S electronically does it for you. So you actually never really have to rev match in this car, which is great, and saves many people from stalling. Again, one of the smoothest and most intuitive, and also I love all the safety features that is in this 6-speed manual transmission. So again, it looks great, it feels great, and again, it's just Acura just really knows how to build their manual transmissions. And to the left of it, you have everything that you need. This is essentially your driving mode section. You click this little switch here to cycle through the different driving modes. And there's also an individual driving mode session where you can do a custom setting from steering to dampening of your suspension to the aggressiveness of the transmission and the exhaust note. So it's definitely very cool. And again, this is essentially your performance area. Underneath that, you do have 2 cup holders. And behind your cup holders, you do have a nice armrest for driver and passenger. that doubles up as a storage unit that does have, let me see if there's a charging case, anything charging in here. Nope, it's just a deep storage pocket. So again, armrest and storage unit, but it looks really great, trimmed in that red leather. Cycling out to your passenger side, your passenger does have a lockable storage glove compartment in front. And as a reminder, the passenger seat is a non-powered seat. It's all manually operated while the driver's seat is powered, but the passenger seat does have heated seats. So again, you can turn that on using the climate control area right here. There will be a seat button, and you can have 3 heat settings for it. So again, definitely very great. And let's go up top. Driver and passenger have a vanity mirror with these window visors. And there is a sunglass holder, very classic of Acura. You do have dome lights for driver and passenger, and standard rear view mirror. And in the Type S, you essentially have an entire black headliner because the base Acura Integra does have a moonroof, sunroof option, but when you spec your Acura Integra in the Type S trim, essentially there is a sunroof, moonroof delete. So you do not have anything in the interior cabin of your, the top of your interior cabin. It's all just this black kind of tweed trim, but you do get a dome light. And according to Acura engineers, the reason why the Type S trim of the Acura Integra had the moonroof / sunroof delete was because by doing that, it made the entire chassis more rigid. So again, this car is a very performance focused car, and sometimes you have to give up some luxuries, such as that moonroof, sunroof. And as a reminder, the rear seats do fold down 60/40, and they are trimmed in that beautiful red leather. All right, let's take a look at life in the rear seat of the Acura Integra Type S. Your rear seat passengers are treated to, again, that red Type R red leather with contrasting black leather. The back rear seats are finished in this beautiful red Type R red leather with red cross stitch. And let's see what the comfort is like. Okay, so here I am inside of the rear seats of your Type S. Definitely very roomy. I essentially have the front seat almost all the way back, yet I still have a good amount of leg room and knee room. Very, very nice. Behind only the passenger seat is this little storage compartment. I guess weight savings comes into play. Rear seats, not much luxury amenities for the rear seat passengers. Usually you'll find some sort of AC unit, not here because race car, weight savings. But your rear seat passengers are treated to a cup holder in a contrasting black plastic. Unfortunately, the rear seat passengers do not have a fold down armrest of any way or such. Yeah, no. And again, the rear seats only fit 2 passengers. As you can see, there is no seat belt for the middle passenger. So again, only 2, although you could probably fit illegally, you know, a small, yeah, probably shouldn't, but again, only 2 seats in the rear. I love the headroom. Because of the rear hatch design, you do get a lot of rear headroom space. Very, very nice. And again, the seats are supple and they're comfortable, and they're Type R red. What else can you ask for? Passengers do have a little storage compartment underneath the door handle. But other than that, again, this is a race car, and your job as rear seat passengers is to sit back and enjoy that 300 horsepower being pumped through that smooth 6-speed transmission with limited slip differential. So again, rear seats. And lastly, these rear seats do fold down 60/40 as such. so you can gain access to the rear hatch while sitting in the rear back seat, or lower them completely for much more trunk space. So again, this is your rear seat of your Acura Integra Type S. Alright, let's begin the test drive of this 2025 Acura Integra Type S. So as a reminder, this car comes with a turbocharged 2.0 liter inline-4 motor matted to a 6-speed manual transmission with limited slip differential, and the engine produces 320 horsepower and 310 foot-pounds of torque. And all that power is routed to the ground via the front wheels in classic Honda style. So again, the Type S only comes in forward wheel drive. So again, a little background. I got my start in the car community before I even got my driver's license. The cars, or the genre of cars that got me hooked on this lifelong passion started with the Honda and Acura scene. My first, I guess, like high school car or a car that was close to enthusiast level was a 1994 Acura Integra DB7. For those that are unfamiliar with these JDM terms, it was essentially a 4-door Acura Integra, and I did quite a few modifications to it. I did a JDM front end conversion. A little background: the Acura Integra in the USA had the 4-circle headlights. In Japan, the Acura Integra, the same year, make, and model, actually had a different front end with one-piece headlights and different hood, different fenders, different front bumper. It just looked a lot better. And back in the days, it was pretty rare to be able to source yourself a JDM front end for the Integra. But again, back in the days, it was possible if you pieced it piece by piece. Again, nowadays in 2025, you can essentially buy entire front clips, and even up to the dashes of JDM cars, but back in the 90s, pretty much impossible. So again, I was really excited to get back into some sort of Acura. I haven't been in an Acura Integra in over many years, 5+, 8, maybe even 10+ years. And I was very excited to be able to experience this Acura Integra Type S. And so far, let's just dive into the driving review, and I'll give you my final thoughts. So let's see if this Acura Integra Type S brings back the glory days of 1990s Honda Acura, or does it again continue the I call it the blandness that Acura has become ever since. I feel like the last great Acura that was created was probably the first generation Acura TSX and the CL Type S and the first generation Acura RSX. Afterwards, Acura kind of fell off, and then they reintroduced the base Integra, and people were like, blah. But man, when they showed the 2024, 2023 Acura Integra Type S with those wide body fenders, Acura did a very good job redeeming themselves. So again, let's see how this performs. So enough talk. Again, this car only comes in a 6-speed manual transmission, and there's a push to start. And my favorite thing about this car is that there's 3 driving modes. Very simple. There's Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. Sport Plus is essentially the race mode, and in order to go through those driving modes, there's a little switch here. So when you go to Comfort, the whole screen turns blue, and basically the suspension softens up. The shifting becomes a lot softer and less aggressive, and the variable exhaust just becomes very quiet. I'm gonna go to Sport Plus mode in race mode and experience that, because you know I just love going in the race mode in all test drives. So when you go in sport mode, I can tell you for sure that the 6-speed manual transmission becomes much more aggressive, much more aggressive to shift, and the variable exhaust definitely gets much louder, and the suspension definitely gets a lot stiffer. Again, I feel if you're going to experience the Acura Integra Type S, you must put it into Sport Plus mode to truly experience it in all its glory. So here we go, and let's begin. So for people who have never driven manual, if you want to go ahead and start the car manual, put your foot on the brake and put your foot on the clutch and press the start button, and the car will start. I've already done that already for you. You want to put your brake down, and again, shift to first gear, and let go of brake, let go of clutch, and give it a little bit of gas. So here we go. So let's start off with one of my favorite features of this car, and that's definitely shifting the 6-speed transmission. I feel like this is one of the best manual transmissions of any car in 2025 and even before this. The 6-speed manual transmission in the Acura Integra Type S, it feels good to shift, it shifts fast, it shifts quick, and there are two notable safety features in the manual transmission that I really do love in the Acura Integra Type S. The first is the car has automatic rev matching. So if you know that in a manual transmission, usually when you shift gears, you kind of have to give it a little bit of gas with the clutch in order to get the car going, or sometimes you might stall out. Well, this car, you don't really need to do that. There's an electronic component where, again, the car automatically rev matches for you. So when you upshift or downshift, again, the transmission kind of just rev matches for you. So that's great. Second thing is that for certain beginner manual drivers or even advanced manual drivers, getting to like a steep hill or whatnot can be kind of scary. When you shift in, you might roll back. This car has a electronic, I guess, hill assist. So if you need help and you're going up a hill, you can press a button and the car will prevent the car from rolling back. So again, not only is the manual transmission performs like an enthusiast transmission, shifts really well, shifts really fast, and shifts really aggressively when you want to, but also again contains all these great safety features that makes driving manual just much more comfortable, much more safe, and much more enjoyable. Let's talk suspension, the engine performance. 310 horsepower may not seem like a lot. 310 foot-pounds of torque may not seem like a lot. But again, in this car, it's all about balance. You take 300 horsepower, but you put it with an amazingly tuned suspension, an amazingly wide stance wheel with those wide body fenders, wide stance, lots of traction, and just, again, that variable exhaust in the back of you. Great brakes. This car is amazing. Acceleration, again, it's fast enough to again give you a little fear, but again it's not enough overpowering where again you're afraid that you're gonna again drift off into a wall. So again, it's very balanced. 300 horsepower, I think it's more than enough, and I feel like with 300 horsepower it's probably one of the most powerful Type R, Type S variants thus far. Let's talk about sound. You can hear right now lots and lots of pops and gurgles. If you guys know my previous reviews, I love exhaust. It's my first aftermarket modification, and this car, its OEM exhaust in Sport Plus mode is amazing. So I'm just gonna drive and let you guys hear it. So again, great exhaust, and it's variable. It can be quiet in comfort mode, but it can be very loud in Sport Plus mode. Steering wheel, feel of the steering wheel is amazing. I love the classic black with red stitching, and I love how the steering wheel just feels very like, again, this car was just crafted for an enthusiast. There's a lot of road feel. It's not underpowered, it's not overpowered, but wherever you point it, the car just goes. A lot of people give crap to front wheel drive cars, but three things I love about front wheel drive cars is, number one, for people who again are enthusiasts who may again, sometimes with rear wheel drive cars you can get a little overzealous and spin out or whatnot. With a forward wheel drive car, it's really hard to do that. You can again be very aggressive with the throttle or whatnot, but again the front of the car just feels very, very stable. Wherever you point it, it goes. And again, if you're a rear wheel drive enthusiast or a four wheel drive or all wheel drive enthusiast, I highly recommend you guys try the Acura Integra Type S, because after the first 2 minutes in this car, you kind of forget that it's a front wheel drive car. It just handles very, very well. It accelerates really, really well. And again, it's just a joy to drive. And yeah, just very amazing. So acceleration, I give the acceleration 8 out of 10. I give the handling 10 out of 10. And sound, 10 out of 10. Brakes, the brakes are amazing. They grip really, really well. They don't fade. I've been driving these mountains for pretty much all day long, and the brakes are just solid. I love the 4-piston, the look of the 4-piston Brembos in Type R red. And again, it just provides you the stopping power that you need, but in a very balanced way. It provides grip, but it doesn't, again, throw you forward or is overpowering. So again, brakes definitely well balanced. I give it an 8 out of 10. Seating comfort. I do like the feel of the seats. So it's odd because the front seat is powered, but the passenger seat is actually all manual. And one thing I miss about this in this car is that the older Type Rs and the older Type S's, they usually had like Recaro SRD seats inside of them. I wish that this car had more like race-like seats. Again, they look good in the black Alcantara with the red leather, but again, I don't feel like they provide enough comfort or like support in the thigh area nor in the lumbar area. I mean, you don't slide around through the Alcantara, but again, it just doesn't feel like race grippy enough. And again, me coming from a Honda background, I really wish that this Type S came with some sort of Recaro seats. Rearward visibility of this car is amazing. I really love the fact that the rear window is really, really big. And also, as a reminder, in the back window, you do have a little square, essentially like a window frame. And usually in other cars, they usually blacked out in plastic. But it's amazing that in this car, it's a piece of glass. So again, you can actually see through it. So it provides just a little bit more visibility and safety. So again, rearward visibility is great. And that rear hatch window is just, again, just gigantic. Not only for storage, but also for view. Suspension. Love, love, love the suspension. I give the suspension 9 out of 10. Again, right now I am in Sport Plus mode and I am taking these curves very aggressively. And again, just completely zero body lean. I love the fact that I feel like with the conjunction of the wide body fenders, giving the car the muscular look, but also giving it that, again, that wide traction and a wide stance, you can take these, again, these curves just very, very aggressively. Right now, I'm taking it very, very aggressively, no fear. And again, no body lean. I feel very, very planted. I feel very, very secure. And again, it's just like, they say to never meet your heroes, but again, I met the 2025 Acura Integra Type S, and it really, really, again, impressed me beyond all measures. I think this is one of the greatest front wheel drive cars, if not one of the greatest Type R, Type S variants. And again, as a previous Honda enthusiast who got his start in the Honda scene, I'm very happy that Acura has redeemed themselves with the Acura Integra Type S. And I hope that this is a signal or the first linchpin in a comeback of Acura. And I hope that future Acura models, again, bring back the glory days of the 1990s Acura and Honda scenes. From the Acura CL Type S's to the Acura Type R's, Civic Type R's, NSX Type S's, NSX Type R's. Just the glory days where, again, Acura focused on enthusiasts and, again, just gave us what we wanted. So again, hopefully this Acura Integra Type S is a sign of that. So again, the interior noise, this car inside, it is a little louder than most other cars. But again, this car is based upon, again, because race car, the interior, it is a little loud. But again, I feel like maybe this car has a little less sound deadening. So again, there is a lot of road noise, but the good thing about less sound deadening in this car is that you can definitely hear, again, all the pops and gurgles of that variable exhaust in here. Here we go. So again, maybe I am biased because again, my heart and soul and my core of all my car enthusiasm was born in the Acura Honda scene. But I gotta say that this car is one of the most enjoyable cars I've driven. And again, I'm not really a fan of manual cars, but this car has really changed my mind about them. Again, this manual transmission makes it easy for a novice driver to drive, but it also allows for a advanced or even a race car level manual driver to again truly enjoy the transmission also. So again, it's great, many driving modes. I rate this car a 9 out of 10, and again, I'm just really enjoying it. And this is one of the few cars that I'm gonna miss when I have to return it later in a few hours to the owner. So again, I love the Acura Integra Type S, and maybe in a future video I can try its younger sibling, the hondacivic Type and see how it compares. But for right now, yeah, this Type S is again, I think gonna be a future JDM classic. Another thing I really love about this car is that although the car is a performance car, there's so many luxurious features. Right now I have the windows up, and this car has just amazing AC. Again, the seats are Alcantara, leather wrapped. You get a lot of luxury, and I believe that's what Acura is. I mean, Honda is Honda, but I believe in America, Acura just represents Honda with just a higher trim or a higher level of luxury in conjunction with, again, with that performance. So again, you do get some more luxurious features in this car, probably a little more higher class materials, and just more luxury features. For example, the front seats are heated, which is great. And I do have a essentially a heads-up display, which is really great. And again, there is displaying the miles per hour. It displays the current speed limit, and it always gives me a little beep every time I go over it. So again, some cool safety and luxury features in the Type S. Here we go. Oh yeah, man, this car is a joy to rev, to redline. Again, I'm really glad I had this opportunity to experience this vehicle. And I mentioned this in my previous review of the exterior, but this car is front wheel drive. But a little background, back in the days in Japan, there was a 90s Acura Integra 4-door that actually came with a 4-wheel drive. I believe it was like the XSI 4-wheel drive, but it's essentially a 1990s Acura 4-door sedan, but it had a 4-wheel drive system in it. And we all know there are some cars in the Acura lineup that do have the 4-wheel drive system or all-wheel drive system. And I wonder in the future if Acura is listening, if maybe they can adapt that to a future Type S. I think this car is great in front-wheel drive, but I imagine what a monster this Type S would be if it had, again, the grip of 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. And we all know in Acura's big bag of secrets, they do have it laying around somewhere, and I'm sure the engineers at Acura can adapt it somehow. Amazing, amazing handling. Again, just one of the most enjoyable cars to drive. And if I had to drive a front wheel drive car, this is the car that I would buy. This is the car that I would drive, and again, would have no shame in it. Bro, you gotta turn it out, man. The first pro of the Acura Integra Type S is definitely practicality and just usefulness. Again, previous generations of the Acura Integra / civictyper, HondatypeR, integratypers, they all kind of came in two-door coupes with hatchbacks. not much storage space, 2 doors, small back seats. Whereas the Acura Integra Type S is probably the most practical, useful, and roomy Type R, Type S versions of all Hondas. Again, you get 4 seats, 4 doors, a huge hatch, and the rear seats fold down to allow even more storage space. So again, if you're looking for a Type R, the Type S Acura Integra is definitely the most practical, the most useful, and the most passengers you can drive of all the Type R, Type S variants. So again, biggest pro of the 2025 Acura Integra Type S is definitely its practicality with the 4 doors, trunk, and all that space. The second biggest pro of the 2025 Acura Integra Type S takes place in the interior. I truly believe that the second best feature of the Acura Integra Type S is this 6-speed manual transmission with limited slip differential. Again, a little background, the 2025 Acura Integra Type S only comes with a 6-speed manual transmission. So you better like to drive 3 pedals with a clutch. Again, this 6-speed manual transmission is not only the most smooth, but the most also nice looking. But again, it just feels really great. And I love how this 6-speed manual transmission is so user-friendly. It comes with some electronic safety features that, again, usually when you drive manual transmission, sometimes it's very difficult to manage certain roads, such as uphill drives or very steep roads. This car actually has something called a brake hold, where you can click that button. And again, if you're on a uphill, in other manual transmissions, usually the car will roll back, or you have to kind of just really modulate the accelerator so you don't hit the car in back of you. But again, this car, if you are uphill, you can press the button and the car will essentially prevent you from rolling back. Great safety feature and a great anxiety relieving safety function of the transmission. The other great electronic feature of the manual transmission in the Type S is that it comes with automatic rev matching. So again, when you are shifting in the manual transmission, whenever you shift up or down, this car, you don't have to really rev match and hit the accelerator. The car or the computer or the transmission does it for you. So again, it's just really great, really practical. And this transmission is just really user-friendly for just beginner manual drivers, moderate manual drivers, or even advanced / race car level manual drivers. Again, and lastly, with the different driving modes, this transmission also adapts to those driving modes. So again, you can drive a very comfortable manual in comfort mode, or if you want to get really aggressive and have to shift really quick and shift really aggressively, race car style, you can put in Sport Plus, and this 6-speed transmission becomes a race car transmission. So again, it's adaptable also. So again, the second biggest pro of the Acura Integra Type S is this beautiful, functioning, feeling, and looking and performing 6-speed manual transmission with limited slip differential. The first con of the 2025 Acura Integra Type S falls with all the rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive stops out there. And the fact is that the Acura Integra Type S only comes in forward or front-wheel drive. So if you're looking for rear-wheel drive action, or you love the traction and power of all-wheel / four-wheel drive, you will not find it in the Acura Integra Type S. It only comes in classic Honda front-wheel drive. Although I have to mention that I truly feel that the Acura Integra Type S is one of the best front-wheel drive cars of all makes and models right now in 2025, and also the best looking. But again, if you're looking for a rear-wheel drive action, you might need to look elsewhere within the make and manufacturer, because one con for some enthusiasts is that the Acura Integra Type S only comes with front-wheel drive. Although some random interesting facts about Honda, there is a Japanese version of the older 4-door Acura Integra that I used to have. I believe it's called the XSI 4-wheel drive, and that car is actually a 4-door Integra with a four-wheel drive system. So again, maybe we could still hope for in the future that maybe Acura will somehow integrate a four-wheel drive system into the Type S. But for right now, it's only offered in front-wheel drive. But somewhere in Acura's bag of secrets, they do have various cars with four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive capabilities. So I'm wondering if they can take that technology and somehow integrate it into a future Integra Type S. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this review of this 2025 Acura Integra Type S. If you guys enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel. We truly do appreciate your support, and tune in next week for more exciting enthusiast, performance, exotic, and possibly JDM car reviews.